All right. Hello, everyone. We are waiting for Earl. He should be on shortly, but I just wanted to hop on about a minute early just because, number one, this is like bringing me back to when I would be on the late night news. So, actually, even later than this, I had many years where I was anchoring the 11 o'clock news. So, that's kind of crazy to flash back and think about. It's only 9 o'clock here on the West Coast, but thank you for whoever can join. This is kind of an experiment. Earl is in Alaska, and so he is an hour before. So 8 p.m. there, 9 p.m. here, and thought we would just try all different times on the live streams, but the live streams have been really fun so far. And I also wanted to address some of these questions about did I get a surgery? Did my cat get a surgery? I don't know why the cat's involved in this. I did have a wisdom tooth surgery scheduled. I have since canceled that or maybe postponed it. I had a gum infection. That infection has been healed now with antibiotics, and the tooth isn't impacted. So I'm just going to try to keep it. So, anyway, just I'll address that real quick because there were some comments about that. So, no, my chipmunk reveal, I have no chipmunk reveal because I did not have my wisdom tooth pulled, which I can't say I'm that sad about that. Yeah, D Lyle says it is midnight here, so you are on the East Coast. I'm surprised you're awake, but thanks for staying up with us. Oh gosh, now my cat wants to join the party. Uncle Yukon, hey there. Uncle Yukon says that's okay. I used to be fishing at this time of night many times. How successful is nighttime fishing? I'm wondering. Sorry, my cat is moving the computer. All right. Well, you know what? We got some exciting stuff. I'm actually just going to make an announcement because we're still waiting for Earl here. But I may be going to Florida. I'm going to try to go for Falcon Heavy at the end of the month. But I also might be going this next week to help set up Starlink mounts for the disaster relief efforts after Hurricane Ian. So that'll be crazy. If some of you guys watched my video, I interviewed a professional off-road racer. Has a business now where he cuts apart Starlink and makes these star mount. Anyway, they need him to make even more. And so he needs help. So I might be going to Florida, which is kind of wild, to help in this relief effort in some way. And so I'm really excited to share that with you guys. And hopefully help if I can. Oh yeah. Daniel says, what's the deal with the squirrel roadkill for ceramics? Yeah, earlier I posted on Twitter. I've been posting a lot on Twitter lately. I sometimes feel like it's my diary and it shouldn't be, but I posted a ceramics piece. I should get it in one of these live streams that I made in 2005 of a roadkill squirrel. So that was kind of creepy. But I thought that it would be funny to share with you guys. Ben Pena says, love the Boxable interview. Yes, absolutely. I am actually planning on going for a follow-up interview later this month when I'm back in Vegas for the Ascend conference that is in Las Vegas. There's a virtual version as well. That's an aerospace conference, but Boxable is headquartered in Las Vegas. In fact, I think that they just opened up their factory too. So hopefully I'll be able to see that. Yeah, I'm really excited. Oh, and we have someone who just joined. All right. So let me. Hey, Earl.
Hey, how are you? Can you hear me okay?
Yes. How are you?
Oh, good. I'm doing great.
You made it.
Let me get situated. Yeah, my computer has really we left our window open here one day and like rain poured into our printer and our computer, and it's never been the same since, but
oh no.
We're just so I thought I would try to log on there because it'd be a little easier, but I'm just using my phone, so hopefully that works.
That's all right.
Well
we
enough.
Are live, just so you know, so don't
Okay.
do anything embarrassing.
Well, that's good. I'll do the best I can.
And I just wanna make sure everyone who's watching, you sound a little quiet to me. Can you guys hear Earl well? Let me know. Um, but yeah, hey, so you're in Alaska. Where exactly in Alaska are you?
Yeah, I'm in Anchorage, Alaska.
Wow, that is so cool. I still haven't been to Alaska. My parents actually just did, the Alaskan cruise and said it was
Okay.
great. So, oh
Yeah, I
my
was
gosh.
watching some of your videos. You talked a lot about hiking and stuff, and
Yeah,
I mean, we've done so much hiking since we've moved here. It's an amazing place to get, or if you ever get up here, you'll love it.
moved here. So how long have you been there?
I've been here since June.
Oh,
Yeah,
only
June.
June. Where were
Yeah.
you before?
Well, I'm in the military, so I travel around a lot, and we were in Ohio before this for a while, but I've been in San Antonio, Denver,
Oh, wow.
a couple places, but it's been really stunning here. We've loved it.
Yeah, I will definitely have to make a trip. And you are obviously a Tesla owner. You have a
Yes,
Model 3.
used to.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was
I
reading.
sold it when I moved here. Yeah, that's
Okay.
part of my heartbreak. But I do have my wife has a Model X, so I do have lots of Tesla time still, luckily.
Okay, good. Good. So okay.
Yeah.
So obviously I want to talk to you about, let me see if I can share this. Oh, look at that. Frunk
Yeah, nice.
puppy.
Yeah.
Frunk puppy. So this is so cool to me. I just love the concept. This is something that you started in 2018.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, yep.
how?
Great question. So it had a little bit of a sad background, I guess. My wife had an aneurysm. She had a brain hemorrhage, a basilar artery brain hemorrhage, and lived through it. She's okay. But during the recovery, I spent a lot of time in the hospital, and it was kind of a sad time, you know. And I was trying to think of ways to bring a little more joy into the Twitter world. And I thought about, well, I like my Tesla and it has a frunk. So what can you do? And I came up with this idea of just people putting dogs in their frunks and taking pictures. And I was asking people to do it. And, a couple people did. And then it just really started to take off all of a sudden. And like, it was amazing. I mean, just there's something about it, a dog in the frunk. And May Musk tweeted one out, and some of the
Yes.
big Twitter accounts. And next thing you know, it was truly a global phenomenon that has continued to this day. And every week we vote on the top one, and we get a bunch of pictures, and it's just a lot of fun. And people get really into it. They get creative with it. Like Halloween is exciting because people will do costumes and decorate the inside of the frunk and everything. So
Okay, so
it's been really fun.
here's some examples here. Oh my
Hmm.
gosh.
Yeah, that was the SPCA of Silicon Valley. They dominated that week. That
Oh,
was so adorable. It was
I
awesome.
love that. I love
Yeah.
that. Wow. Yeah, and I did see that. I mean, what was that like when May Musk, you know, did her
Oh
own
my,
version?
it was huge because it was just such a funny thing, and I just enjoyed watching other Tesla accounts do it. So to have, May Musk find this, and then she said, "Look, as soon as she was up traveling, she's like, as soon as I get back, I'm going to do this." I'm like, "Okay, we'll see." And then she did it, put her dog in the frunk, and I mean, that's when it was really solidified as being a thing. Once you
Wow.
have, the mother of Elon doing this, then it was only a matter of time before everybody would do it, and it really caught on. It was really exciting.
Well, Elon has a dog, so where's he at?
Well, Elon did put Floki, his dog, in the frunk.
Oh, he did. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I haven't
that
found that
was
photo yet.
yeah. If you look up Floki FrunkPuppy, he got when he got his puppy. He said he's getting a puppy, and I tweeted at him and said, "Elon, you got to put that dog in the frunk." And he said, "Will do." Which you never know. Elon's very busy, and
Is it
sure
this
enough, he did.
is it this Dogecoin looking dog?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
don't see it
gosh.
right now, but yeah, it's it's a Shiba Inu, his puppy Floki, and
Okay,
he
let
put
me
it in
share
the
that
front.
screen. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Okay, so here we go. So yeah, can you guys see that? That's this is it?
Yep, that's the one. Yeah,
Oh my
Floki Frunk
gosh,
Puppy.
I
Yep.
love that. I
Yeah,
love
it's a
that.
great pick. It was a great
Um,
pick, and
so you
it
got
was
the
huge.
whole family in on it,
That was a
and
big, yeah, that was really big to have him see my tweet about it, and then to actually do it was really cool. Yeah.
yeah, and
Yep.
you have grown your Twitter substantially as well. So tell me
Yeah.
about that, and like, do you like that?
Yeah. Well, I started my handle is at 28 delays later, which is kind of dumb. And the reason I did it was just to follow Elon, like a lot of people, to follow Elon online as I was waiting for my Model 3. And I picked that because I love zombie movies, 28 days later. And I put delays later because I'm waiting for my Model 3. And Tesla does, they're great, but they do delay things, right? So
Right.
it was a little tongue in cheek. And after I got my car, I did a video of it parking in my garage and backing itself in and closing the garage door. And it was one of the first to like do that. And Elon saw it and he tweeted it. The Tesla account tweeted it. So suddenly my just little account to track Elon with took off and I got a bunch of followers and I got really hooked on it. I talk about it like Vegas. You know, if you go to Vegas the first time and you hit like the jackpot, you're done, right? You're going to want to do that again. And that's what happened to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got Elon to tweet my stuff and Tesla. So then I took Norman, my dog, and I put him in my car and I was driving it around, making just like dumb videos like that. And people love that stuff. So, over time between that and then FrunkPuppy and then just posting, like I was one of the lucky ones to get FSD beta early. So those videos, people want, even though I'm terrible at them, but they still wanted to see them because there weren't a ton of videos. And so yeah, I've been able to build up a nice base and meet people in person and enjoy kind of the Tesla community, the whole thing.
Do you have the most recent version now of FSD?
Um, I have I think people just got an update.
Yeah.
Sometimes the older Model X takes like a week extra or a
Okay.
couple days. I'm kind of in that window right now, but yeah, I don't know when that update wasn't too long ago, but it's so fun to, I mean, we're watching tech learn and learn how to drive itself.
Right.
So, people talk about the price of it, like it's not worth it and you can't sit in the back seat. But for me, it's just to be part of this journey. This is only going to happen once. Like we're only going to go through this journey to FSD once. And
Yeah.
then cars will just be boring and drive themselves. So it's neat to be along for the ride. So I appreciate that.
That's a really good way to look at it, actually. That's yeah. Let's see. We have a super chat. Thank you, Jose. He says Halloween, maybe an ET doll in the frunk.
I love
Maybe.
it. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Please.
Someone actually pitched the idea to me of having a new segment of Frunk Babes. Do we like this idea or no?
I can tell you, been doing this for 4 years, and people have put, food in there, people in there, their kids in there, and lots of different animals, but nothing seems to really stick week after week than dogs.
Right.
But hey, I welcome it. I think any awareness to EVs and the front, go for it, and post them. It's all in fun. It's really great.
I was gonna say, has there ever been a winner that wasn't a dog?
Yes, we there have been some pretty crazy ones over the years. There has been a snake. We had a repeat winner that was a rabbit. That was amazing. Frunk
What?
Bunny. That had, yeah, for Halloween they put a little witch hat on the bun. Like forget, I was gonna win with the little witch hat on. We've had quails, different birds, chickens, goats. A goat just won not long ago. A fish. Somebody filled up their frunk with water and they won with frunk fish.
Oh my god.
Um, Somebody won with a calf. They actually grabbed a calf and got it in their frunk and took a picture and they ended up winning. So yeah, I mean, I'm probably forgetting many, but people have gotten really creative with the animals that they've put in there. Of course, cats, kittens.
I was gonna say, can I enter my cats? My one cat
Oh,
who's trying to
of course, yeah.
jump up right now. Okay, Pinocchio, we have some homework.
Oh, there. That's a winner, right? Pinocchio, the winner for sure. Um, Cats are great, but cats are cats, right? They are tough to get in the frunk. So there's been many people that have cats kind of near the frunk. They're sitting like
Yeah.
kind of on top of it, but I have a little bit of merch and I wanted to make a FrunkPuppy shirt, but for cats, and the cat was like on the arm, like on the sleeve, because they really do whatever they want.
Oh, I
But
love that
never
idea.
got around to that. But
I love
yeah,
that
cats
idea.
are great, and we've had people do dogs and cats together, various animals. One tip for cats, of course, cats. People put a box in the frunk, so they like love boxes. Sometimes they'll
Yeah.
sit in the box rather than being in the frunk, which seems a little too big. But some are natural. So we just had one not too long ago. Just sat there, just like a dog, and got its picture taken.
And you're not deciding the winners, the voters are.
I think Frunk Puppy Friday is one of the truest democracies online. So it's oddly complicated how this happened. So when I first started doing this, I just would collect the pictures myself because there weren't many, and I would just pick the winner myself. And then I thought, well, what do I know? Maybe I'll do a vote, right? But then I would get more than 4 pictures, and Twitter only really allows 4 pictures for a poll. So I would pick the top 4, and I thought, well, again, what do I know? So then some of the people who were really into it, I just asked online, like, hey, who wants to be part of this Frunk Puppy like board, right? So I made a Twitter chat and added people, and then they would help me find pictures, and then we together would vote on the top 4. So I wasn't picking it. We would pick the top 4. Some weeks we would have 40 or 50 pictures from around the world,
Wow.
narrow it down to the top 4, and then I put it out on Twitter, and whoever wins wins. So yeah, I'm very removed from the process, and oftentimes many good pictures don't make the top 4, and the ones that I thought were a shoe in to win that don't even finish. They're like don't even make it. So but that's fun to me. Like let the community run it and figure it out. And I think that's what makes it really fun. And I mean, sometimes we'll have well over 1,000 votes, which blows my mind. Like, what are you people doing? But people are into it, and you know, life happens, and sometimes I'm late to get the vote up, and I'll have messages in my DMs like, "Hey, where's the vote? I look forward to this all week." So, I make sure it happens. But I have a ton of people that help me now behind the scenes that find the pictures and do everything because it really is a little bit of a machine. But
And you have a website and everything. I mean,
yeah, I've got
it's very
website
official.
up and running. I had merch for a while. I closed down the store while I was moving to Alaska, and we'll be opening that up hopefully soon with a new line of merch. I want to add some like pet things and then a new shirt design and stuff. But
No, I
life's
love
been a little busy, but you know.
Yeah, no, I love that idea. And so if you win, what happens?
Yeah, so over the years, it has varied from there were a number of small companies, mostly Tesla focused, that would donate things like screen protectors, center wraps, t-shirts, stickers. So whatever I could find, I would sometimes give away. What I found over time is that a lot of people um, didn't want to bother with the price. Like they already had it or something. So that kind of fell off a little bit.
Mm.
And then more recently, I was approached by there's a cryptocurrency called Floki, which obviously they like the dog Floki. And they said, hey, can we just give you some to give away each week? And I'm like, well, that's great. It's easy. I can give away something. So I've been giving away 1,000,000 Floki every week to the winner if they want it.
Wow.
But it'll probably end at some point. But I like to do something because it's fun. But honestly, most of the winners are just they just want the glory of
Totally.
winning that week and saying
Yeah,
their dog is a Frunk Puppy winner. We've
absolutely.
had repeat winners, people who won multiple times, and so
What do you
that's
think
fun.
about that? Do you think at a certain point you're gonna have to make it you can only win once or
Um, I have not had to make a hard rule. Most of the repeat winners graciously retire. Like Twix-a-Poodle is one of them who just has amazing picks, and they won a bunch. Muffin is one of the dogs of the board members, has won a bunch. So sometimes I'll just limit, how many times they enter, but I've really tried to keep the rules to a minimum, so that it's not too militant. I mean, to win Frunk Puppy Friday, you don't even need to be in the frunk. Um, and the reason is that some animals get scared in the frunk, or the dogs can't make it in the, like I said, if some older dogs, they can't really be in the frunk. So I didn't want it to turn into like something that we're like harming animals for our own
Yeah.
enjoyment. Some dogs love it in there and some don't. So what I did was that, hey, if you're anywhere in or around an EV or even an EV charger, take a picture, put it in, and maybe you'll win. And I think that keeps it, you know, um,
Fair.
opens it up more. And then you don't have to be in a Tesla. We
Yeah.
we get
Right.
a lot of Tesla winners, but my hope in making this wasn't about Tesla. It was really frunk agnostic, I call it. Like, Rivian has a great frunk. The F-150
Say,
Lightning has an amazing frunk. Like, who cares? This is about EVs and frunks. And, we just had a F-151 like 2 weeks ago. So, unfortunately, a lot of car companies don't have a frunk, and that makes it a little harder because it's um, doesn't catch on as much. We've had people win like a Bolt one, and they had the dog in the back. But um, Tesla kind of continues to dominate the EV market, so most of the entries end up being from Tesla, and a lot of my fans are Tesla fans, so they seem to gravitate, towards
totally.
the Teslas. But I'm trying to branch out over time, and I think that'll change. You're seeing more mass produced. We're seeing the Mach E have entrants and things, so hopefully that'll keep growing.
Tesla Club Czar says, "Can I ask you legends a question?" Go for it. That's why we're here. Absolutely. I don't know what the question is, but if you guys have questions, leave them
I
in
think they just did.
the
With
thing.
that,
Well,
the
here we
question
go.
was, can I ask a question?
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
That makes me think of like if you're in the classroom, it's like, "Can I go to the bathroom?" And the teacher's
Yeah.
like, "I don't know. Can you?
Oh, are you able to? Yeah.
May I? May I, ma'am?" Oh God, I have cat hair everywhere. Um, and Twitter, okay, so you're really big on Twitter. And the Tesla community is also just huge on Twitter. Like,
Oh, it's huge. Yeah.
I just feel like that's all I see. And maybe that's because that's all I follow. Probably, but
Yeah.
it's a great community, is what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah. No, it has just taken off so much
Yeah.
and has branched off in so many ways too, because there's so many people that follow Elon. And, the other part of it, I don't know if you're interested in space at all, but, there's a huge SpaceX community as well that, just love to talk about all the launches and Mars and everything. So there's like communities within the communities,
Right,
because
right.
it's so big, and that's cool.
Ben wants to know, is there an environmental theme to your Twitter account?
An environmental theme, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, my push was to raise awareness for EVs with FrunkPuppy because I think we got to really get off gas. Of course, I ended up back in a gas car because I moved to Alaska, but I think it's really important to advocate. I've been advocating a lot to grow the charging network up here, working with the local. There's EV groups and things to hopefully make that happen, so that owning two EVs is reasonable.
Right.
Right now, one is kind of max, but yeah, no, I one of the major reasons that I wanted to get an EV or really got interested in Elon was because of the environment.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't have a Tesla yet. Someday. But what made you realize, okay, I got to get you have a Forerunner, right? That you got for
Yeah,
Alaska. Why did
yeah.
you feel? Because I've heard they handle pretty well in winter. So what made you switch back?
Yeah, no, great question. So when I lived in Ohio, we drove a lot up to Duluth, Minnesota, and yeah, my three was great in the snow, totally fine. But there's a robust charging network, and you could really get wherever you wanted in your Tesla. And if you broke down, you weren't going to be in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
Unfortunately, here it feels a little unsettling. There's one supercharger in the state, and this state is bigger than California, Montana, and Texas combined, I believe.
What?
It's enormous, and you can literally only go to one supercharger. So you have to kind of patch together a charging network of various, third parties. And, it's okay. You can do it. I mean, people have driven all over Alaska. But for me to go somewhere with my family, I mean, I'm not going to charge overnight, like in the middle of a blizzard, right? So we also don't have a service center here. And currently we don't even have a mobile tech. And the roads are hit or miss. I mean, some of them are great, but some of them are suggestions. There's like bumps and potholes. And so I had imagined bringing two EVs and just wanting to go somewhere. Everything's far away because it's a big state. So you need to drive 2-4 hours, and it's cold. So you lose some range without supercharging, with no spare tire, with no mobile service, and no service center. And you know darn well you're going to bang up your car if you're driving it through these rough areas. So I figured, well, I love my car, but since I'm here in Alaska, I want to see everything. I want to be able to go on any hike and go wherever, including in the winter. So I kind of needed a little bit of a beast of a mobile that can drive me through all weather, that I don't care if it gets banged up. There's a Toyota dealership up here. My heart is broken. I continue to, I see Teslas and I get upset. But for most of our closer trips, you can go pretty far in the Model X, but we'll take that as much as possible. And as they build out the superchargers, we'll use it more and more. And my hope is that if they continue to build them, that I can switch to a Cybertruck. Then I won't have to worry about you can throw a spare in the back of it, and it's like a tough vehicle. And hopefully have a little more service and some chargers, and I'm back, But I never expected to sell it because it was so easy in the U.S. I mean, I didn't even think about it. I had so much range anxiety when I bought it, but within a couple months, it's like I'd forget to plug it in. Like you have so much range, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And then I've driven it through the cold, and in Duluth it was like -20. I was driving around in a blizzard in the Model X, like no problem. So I hope to get there again someday. But it really came down to just like safety, convenience, and then just feeling comfortable with really being out there with my family, and not like, oh, I can't go there because I have an EV. It really felt upsetting to me,
Totally.
since I'm up here.
Do you
But
have a Cybertruck reservation?
yeah, I have two. I used to have three. I made two. I went to the event. I went to the Cybertruck event,
Oh my gosh.
and yeah, um,
That's awesome.
yeah, they rolled that thing out on stage. I don't know if you've ever. I'll send you this picture. So, do you remember leading up to that how everybody had their version of what the Cybertruck would look like? I mean, it was endless. Like Inside EVs would have one every week. Like, is this what it'll look like? And I asked Elon, I said, is anybody close? And he said, no, it's more of like a military type vehicle. And he explained it. So I made this ridiculous picture of what I thought it looked like. And no kidding, it's probably one of the closer versions of what it actually looked like. It was like comical. But when I was at the event, he rolled this thing out on stage, and I thought it was a joke. I mean, I really did. I'm like, is there an actual truck that's going to roll out?
No way.
And then he started talking about it, and it kind of hit me like, this is really it. Like, this is what Elon made. And I watched the whole presentation. Of course, he's hitting. I wish I had a video of me watching the event, because they threw that ball and cracked the window.
Yeah.
Well, and then they threw a second one and they cracked it again, and I was just like, no, like stop. Like, like this is your new vehicle, like stop harming it. Like, I was like authentically upset.
Oh my
And
God.
and I was thinking, can I drive this? Like, is this something? I don't need a truck. That's how I went to the event. Like, Earl, you do not need a truck. And then I waited in line forever to get a ride in it. And I'm just, Ellie, I'm watching this thing drive in and pick people up and drop them off. and it looks like something that you shouldn't be able to own. It looks like a movie prop. Like it just
Wow.
looks like something from space. Like it looks like sci-fi. And I'm watching it drive in and drive out, and I'm like, oh my, I think I really like this thing. Like it took me a bit. So I ordered one, and the internet was bad, so I accidentally ordered two.
Oh my God.
And I got to my hotel that night, and I canceled the earlier reservation like a dummy. So I don't know when I'm ever going to get it, but um,
Did you
I
get to
just,
ride around
I
in it?
love it. I
Did you?
didn't. We waited for hours. Me and gosh, like every Tesla person was there, but the line was fun because I talked to. I mean, I met like Trevor from Model 3 owners, Tesla Tino, Tesla Raj. I mean, everybody, everybody I wanted to meet in person was there. So the line was fun. It was part of it for me.
Wow.
And Kim Paquette, hung out with her. Um, but yeah, I didn't get to ride in it. They shut it down at some point.
Right.
So I went out to the street and I watched the last couple rides and took some videos of it. Just like, this thing is so wild and crazy. And then I just fell in love with it. And it was funny because I feel like I went through the process that the internet went through. Excuse me. Like, so if you didn't go, people were horrified by it. But it took them a couple days of like, maybe, okay, well, fine, I'll order one. Like there was this adjustment and then people got excited. But I feel like for the people there, just seeing it in person just sped that up a little bit. You're like, okay, like you normalize to it a little faster.
Right.
And
Right.
then I was just so excited about it. Like still I'm pumped about it. I think it is the weirdest. It's like, why would you not want to drive in that? Like it's a boat.
Why did you think it was a joke at first? Like, what about its appearance or like why?
Shocking. I mean, the shape of it, like to see it looked so big on stage that night, and it's like stainless steel and it's a triangle, and like I mean everything seemed wrong. Like this can't be this can't be a pickup truck, you
Oh
know?
my gosh.
And but I have to say I really expected to be shocked. That's why I wanted to go, because I'm like, Elon is so excited about this thing. It's not gonna, everybody kept drawing basically an F-150 with a Tesla logo on. I'm like, that is not how he's explaining it. And I'll send you the picture then. But yeah, he rolled this thing out and I couldn't believe it. It just looked massive and silver and but then he explained it. I'm like, okay. And then the more I learned about it, I'm like, well, this makes sense. This is going to be pretty cheap to make, and you can mass produce, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, I can't wait for it.
The
Every update I get, I'm stoked for it, and
the
I think it would
delays
be
are such a
awesome to
bummer,
have.
right?
28 delays later, absolutely. Yeah, always. I mean, there's always delays. So I knew it would not be out then. But of course, people forget too. Tesla's been pretty good. I mean, Elon eventually changed the timeline, but the end of this year or into next year was supposed to be the semi, and they're releasing that. The Model Y was early. And COVID supply chain, everybody's a little bit hung up. So I can't. Just get it right. I mean, the Cybertruck's going to be a hit whenever they get it to market.
Right.
They'll make as many as they'll sell as many as they can make for years before competition is even a word
Oh
about
yeah.
that. I'll buy one for sure.
I love
But
them. I was
yeah,
lucky enough to see it at Cyber Rodeo and the shareholders
okay,
meeting and just I love it. But I'm
yeah,
already like normalized to it too. I've seen it twice now. So I'm like, oh yeah, that's Cybertruck.
yeah. I
Everyone's
know
like,
it's
the
just like
unicorn.
I can't imagine driving, especially up here. Like there's a few Teslas, but uh, people will be turning heads looking at that Cybertruck for sure. It'll really stand out up here.
So how long are you going to be living in Alaska? Do you think you'll get
Uh,
your Cybertruck?
yeah, at least 3 years for sure.
Right. Okay.
Could be longer if I try. But so far I'm loving it. I mean, it is just bigger than life up here. It's awesome. Everything we've seen, it's been wonderful.
Do you feel so disconnected just being kind of so far away from
Yeah, it's funny because um, but yeah, I've been in the military, and we've wanted to live overseas many times. And between my wife and family, it's like, we just don't want to be too far away. Let's just stay stateside. And then, surprise, the military sends me to Alaska, which might as well be Europe. I mean, you really don't feel like you're in the United States. The culture's different up here. You do feel pretty far when you go to take a flight and realize that, yeah, you're out. Yeah, I mean, we're closer to Russia than anything else, right? Russia and Canada were really our neighbors. And but it's cool. It's so cool. There's such diversity up here. Um, there's so many tribal lands. There's so many tribes that still live up here that have been doing this for, thousands of years,
Right.
living off of this land, doing the same things. And that culture has really worked its way into day-to-day life. And Alaska has so many quirky, like, they're so connected to nature here. So everything, like from salmon runs to when the salmon are coming, dip net fishing, the bears, when the bears are coming, hibernating. They have a thing called Fat Bear Week,
Yeah.
which they set up cameras and they weigh the bears, and you have to bet on, like, pick who the fattest bear is. Like, that's hilarious, it's so great. And I love the connection to nature up here. It's really
Well,
been
I saw
great.
that there's some sort of scandal with Fat Bear
Yes,
Week. Someone trying to
yes.
hack the vote.
Somebody stuffed the ballot box for Fat Bear Week. Can you? I mean, come on. Can we not have anything nice? Yeah, but luckily they were able to fix the voter fraud, and we will get the correct bear to win Fat Bear
Well,
Week.
thank goodness, 'cause the world wouldn't go on otherwise. I did
Yeah.
see, Jeremy Judkins, he said something like, "What is this Alaska drama?" It's so funny. If you guys aren't on Twitter, you should probably consider getting on. I feel like Twitter is honestly, like, where so many people are right now, like, people are leaving Facebook maybe, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you sense that?
It's so you know what I like about Twitter? I think it's neat to be able to directly tweet at, like, people, famous people. And and of course if you follow Elon, he might actually tweet back at you. That's a neat perk that you don't really get as much in other
Right.
platforms. And I have fallen in love with Twitter Spaces. I had another one today.
Okay, I've
Um,
never done that. What I'm like, yeah, I don't
Yeah,
under
it's just like a chat. So you can open it up, and you can either you can depend on who you want to invite, or you can just have it open. And the Twitter can be a bit rough sometimes. I mean, people kind of write some pretty inflammatory things, probably myself included, and it gets kind of negative. But when you have a space, people are talking, and people, I think, just in general, they have better conversations, and nobody's like throwing darts like they do sometimes online. And you can have it on a range of topics. Like today, I was just talking about Elon, and there was that debate if he had talked to Putin, and it was like, did he or didn't? And then the one guy said he did, and Elon said he didn't, back and forth all day. So I just hopped on to chat about it, and you get all these people coming on. A couple of weeks ago, I was talking about Ukraine, and there was a no kidding Ukrainian refugee that was talking about her experience, and then she DM'd me, and now we're friends. So when something comes up, she texts, DMs me, like,
wow.
about, like I said something dumb today, and she's like, well, actually, blah blah blah. I'm like, thank you. Like, but what a neat, I would never meet that person, right?
Right.
And we're like connecting online, all leading up to, I watched your one, you did a few about AI Day,
Yeah.
and I had a couple spaces, and some of these people that join in that know about robotics and artificial intelligence, and I just sit there and
Yeah.
learn something.
Yeah.
Like, what a gift, to be able to
Oh,
kind of sit down and chat like that. So I've really liked that.
even just with my channel growing, the people that I've met along the way, I mean, to me, that's the best part is like,
Yeah,
I would have never known about these people otherwise or connected with them. And now I have these like great friends in all these different places. And
yeah.
that just continues to grow. My next goal is to like travel internationally to, because I haven't been international in a while. So
Okay.
hopefully I can find an excuse to go to Giga Berlin or something. But
Yeah, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
I remember I had my first FrunkPuppy event in Ohio, and I had never met anybody in person online. I mean, I've met maybe one or two that have stopped by, but I was so nervous. Like, what is what is this going to be like? And it was incredible. I mean, I met so many people that we like have a bit of history. We know we all like dogs and we like Teslas, and it was really nice. And then when I got to go to the Cybertruck event, it was the same thing. Like I'm like, wow, I've like met real people on here.
Right.
So it's really cool. So yeah.
Is
Mhm.
Norman there with you?
Norman is downstairs.
He's downstairs.
So we're a house divided because we have a rescue cat named Eggabell Batternugget. She came with that name, and she she sadly was kind of put out on the streets in Kentucky, and she had no claws. Made it to a kill shelter, beat up, bloody, real thin, and we there was a place in Dayton called the Cat Cafe, and they got her and rescued her. And we had been fostering kittens repeatedly because, well, basically my daughter, like after COVID, like I deployed, I got home as COVID, can't do anything except play Legos and stuff. Well, she finally gets to a friend's house, jumps off of a trampoline, breaks both of her arms, like
Oh, oh
where
no.
her wrists. She breaks both of her wrists, like a champion bikes home, whatever. Um, and we felt so bad for her. My wife's like, let's foster some kittens. So we
Oh,
foster these kittens, and we're rolling through kittens. I mean, it's hard to say goodbye to kittens, but we're like, they're getting adopted, and we're having all these kittens. Well, then Eggabell, they were closing the place to renovate, and they're like, look, we have Eggabell here. She doesn't like cats. Can you take her for a bit? And she doesn't like, she was mad at my daughter's stuffed cat. Like, she was angry at everything,
oh my gosh.
mean, you know uh and she just grew, she just fit right. She's so strange and so great. We just fell in love with her. So she's up here and has not fully integrated with the dogs yet. They're doing pretty good, but basically Eggabell lives upstairs, and the dogs live downstairs. So that's why a lot of times when I hop on these things, I'm like distanced from the dogs. But
I wonder how they came up with that name, Eggabell.
it is some sort of like an anime character.
Okay.
It's like a gay anime character or something. I have no idea, but I'm like, we wanted to keep it because it's just such a great name, you know. But anyway, that's why we're in this situation. I actually just got Eggabell out of here because what she likes to do is hang out, and then as soon as you start doing something, start banging on the door and yelling. And I'm like,
Yes.
I don't know if I want him in for that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's just I can't he just has to be a part of it. So and people seem to like him, so, and if
Yeah.
you're allergic, it's okay because we're virtual right now, so it doesn't matter.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, get that cat in the frunk. It'll be great.
I should. I have a couple francs that I could
Yep.
use, and I think
Perfect.
we might be able to make him actually sit. Like, look
Yeah.
at him. He's very, like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah. I think he he looks workable for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, awesome. It's actually kind of funny. I didn't know what you looked like, because I've seen your Twitter and it's your dog as
Yeah.
your profile, so I had no
Yeah.
idea really what to expect here.
Yeah. When I've shown it up at events and I've met people, that's usually what they say. Like, oh, I thought you were a dog. And, you know,
For some reason, I thought you were older, but
yeah, I get that a lot too. I think
yeah,
it's the name. I think Earl is like an older name, old
yeah,
man name for
yeah,
sure.
yeah. So, for your day job, when you're not running Frunk
Yeah.
Puppy, what exactly do you do?
So I am a neuropsychologist. I do cognitive assessments for brain injuries and dementia. I
Wow.
currently run a traumatic brain injury clinic through the air. I'm active duty in the Air Force, and yeah, I've been doing that for quite a few years now. So I'm really into things like neuroscience. I just love the brain. I love cognition. I love testing. And so, of course, Neuralink really spoke to me when Elon started that because
Yep.
I think that there's a lot of room for tech to help people with all kinds of disabilities, multiple sclerosis, paralysis, things like that. So, yeah, that's all fascinating to me.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I
are you excited for the Halloween Neuralink update? Why it's on Halloween?
Yes,
I don't know.
yes. I I always get nervous about events. I don't know how excited to get. I was the same way with AI Day. Like, how excited should we be? Because I know they do a lot of recruiting out of these things.
Right.
So I try to keep expectations low, and but was still blown away by AI Day too. A walking robot. I did not expect that.
Yeah, totally. Oh, it was amazing.
And you
Um,
got to give Elon a little bot.
I did.
How cool.
I had a 3D printed bot. I actually just got my replacement in the mail today. This company out of Florida, they make 3D printed, Starship, and I have Artemis behind me and stuff.
Yeah.
But I brought it just because I thought, well, why not? I'll just carry it around if I even get in. I didn't even have a ticket, and then last minute I got a ticket, so it was crazy. But yeah, I was
Awesome.
like, how do I get his attention? Oh, I'll give him a toy. He has a lot
Oh,
of
it
kids.
worked.
Someone will like it. I hope.
Yeah.
To my knowledge, he didn't throw it away. So I saw him, take it and go behind the curtain, and so I don't know what happened to it, but
Yeah.
it was wild.
I loved your video with the little Tesla bot kind of driving in the car, and then
Yeah.
like you put it on the map to kind of like track you, the little bot on the map.
Yeah, that is my very rudimentary, my own graphics that I make just by keyframes. I don't know how to do
I
like any of the After Effects things, but
If you've ever seen my photoshopping, you would understand why I was impressed with that. So, so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, it was a really cool experience. He still hasn't ever replied or responded to me on Twitter. So I'm waiting for that day, but I don't know. Maybe.
Well, the rules have changed. He used to respond to if you could catch him quick enough after a post and then kind of relate to
Yes.
that post, he would sometimes bite on something right away.
For
Or if it was like a good question about Tesla tech or something that he was interested in, or SpaceX. Um, but more recently, he's really been into kind of cool quotes, even if they're Elon quotes. Like he'll respond to quotes from Elon about Elon. And that really has been a winning combo for many people right now.
okay.
But I don't, that always changes. Like the formula always changes. But if you look at the top accounts that he's responding to lately, oftentimes it's like he has a few favorites, but then if you look at some of the stuff, like if it's a cool Elon quote with like a picture of a rocket or something, he's like, oh yeah, like that's cool.
Well, I saw some that is a good idea. I saw someone shared like a quote from 2016 about him saying
Yeah.
it was a perfect day to bake cookies. So I don't know if someone
Yep.
just like sought that out, but maybe
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I
It'll
don't know.
it'll
I've never found a rhyme or reason. Like sometimes like have had like what I thought were amazing tweets, and then he's found like some weird tweets of mine and he likes them. I'm like, I didn't even tag him and it's not even a good tweet. So it really throws me off. I'm like, I don't know. Like I don't know how he saw that, why he saw that, why he responded. But yeah, it's tough though. I mean, he has like what 108 million followers, and
Yeah, I know. That's
I don't know. I would love to know what his account looks like. I mean, I feel like I have like 90 some thousand, and I can't. I have no idea. I mean, I'll see a couple responses, and then like I don't
just gets too
know.
much. It just
Yeah,
gets
there's just too much going on, or people start arguing under the comments, so then I just mute my own chain because I'm like done. I'm not part of this. So, but yeah, it's interesting.
Tin Man wants to know, Earl, would you ever work for Neuralink if when you leave the Air Force?
Yeah, they always do like applications and stuff. So there was a time when I was thinking of maybe getting out of the military, and I did apply around that time, and talked to a recruiter too. Um, at that moment, they weren't, since they're not at like human trials, they don't have as much need. So my specialty is like cognitive testing for people. And so they really didn't have, when you're just training on animals, you're not really doing the same thing. But I had wondered if they do get closer to human trials, you probably would want to do cognitive testing before and after to make sure, whatever you're intervening with didn't make things worse. Or if you're trying to improve a certain cognitive ability, then you would want to really measure that pretty well. So I think a neuropsychologist would be perfect eventually, but that may be kind of down the road. So I'm wondering maybe I got less than 5 years left. So maybe in another life I'll do that. But I mean, that whole area excites me. I think it's
Yeah,
awesome.
what are you most excited for with Neuralink?
Probably I think being able to um, maybe fix things like paralysis, because I could see how that could work. Because if you have a broken spinal cord, if you can just kind of bypass some of that, the nerves, and replace it with kind of sensors, I mean, how exciting. Can you imagine being able to help people to walk again? And my mom has multiple sclerosis, and that really impacted her. She was always very active, riding bikes, loved to travel and do all these things. And it really impacted her life to not be able to move her legs. Um, and I wonder if eventually Neuralink tech would be able to, um, you know, help people walk again who have neurodegenerative disorders like that. Um, but really, kind of endless, what you can do with it. But those are the things at the moment that really excite me.
Yeah, there's just, I mean, everything, all of his companies, Elon's companies are so exciting. I ran a poll on Twitter and some people I think got offended. I said pick one, SpaceX or Tesla, which it was just me being random. And people are
I
like, this is
know.
way too hard. This is, you know,
Yeah. Why can't I
torture.
pick both?
What's
Yeah,
wrong with you? I'm like,
I know.
I never said what I picked. I didn't pick either of them. I pick them both, but it is there. It's like every single company has such an impact and such a shakeup, and it's just crazy. It's like what
Yeah.
next? What could he do next? Right?
Yeah. I think if you really think about each company, you can get so excited about the future he has laid out with that company. So, you know, Tesla's making awesome EVs, but that's not where Elon sees the company. Elon sees like robots building self-driving cars in a factory that are made with recycled batteries by clean energy. Like what? That I mean, that's a huge goal. SpaceX is supposed to have colonies on Mars. I mean, okay, and then Neuralink curing paralysis and everything else he talks about. I mean, and then even the Boring Company, like
Right.
all the tunnels and traffic and like this kind of underground system of, and how far he gets with those, who knows? But I mean, people didn't think he would be able to survive as an EV company. People didn't think he would be landing rockets routinely. People didn't think he would have worldwide internet with SpaceX. So I don't think I can sit back here and look at his big dreams for his companies and say, no, none of that'll happen.
Yeah.
Probably more will happen, like things that we don't, plans that he hasn't revealed yet or that he'll develop. I mean, people forget that Tesla wasn't going to do self-driving initially. It wasn't part of the equation, and he just kind of added it in. And I think they're one of the leaders now, in my opinion.
Wow.
So what else will happen? Like if he's building bots, or if Neuralink takes off, and how's he going to build on that? He never stops. Or even SpaceX. Like, are there kind of side ventures and projects that he's talked about, or maybe hasn't developed yet, that might happen as companies are successful? So I it's exciting to follow all of his companies for sure.
Yeah, it definitely makes me excited about the future, which I don't
Mm.
think a lot of people are, which is unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah, no, I agree.
They
You
just
get
need
really
to,
bogged down in a lot of stuff.
I think it's because also a lot of people don't know what's going on. We
Well,
have an echo chamber on Twitter, but I don't think like I bet if I'm going to Vegas in a few weeks and I'm going to walk around the strip and I'm going to ask people what they think of the Boring Company. And I bet they'll be like, what's that? Like they probably won't even know that there's a straight up Vegas loop that you can take
yeah,
there in Vegas.
Yeah, I forget too, just being on Twitter and you kind of know everything about EVs, but one time I went back to where I'm from in Pennsylvania. I'm from like the old coal region, so there's not a lot there. And I went to a small amusement park, and I was getting stuff out of the frunk, and some local person was driving by with their truck in the parking lot and like jammed on the brakes and like slid in the dirt and like stopped, and the guy got out and he's like, what, where is the engine for that car? What are you doing? Like he was blown away, like he was, couldn't believe it. And I'm like, no, this is an EV. He's like, well, where's the motor? I don't know, how does it move? Where does the gas go? Where's the, like, no, there's no gas. It doesn't use gas. And, it just kind of hit me that there are a lot of people that really, they may even know Tesla exists. They may know what Teslas look like, but they honestly don't know anything
Right.
about them. I mean, people still would ask me like, well, where's the engine? And people ask me that at work, well, how far can that go? Like hundreds of miles. Like, I mean, people have no clue.
Oh
So
my
there's a
God.
lot of work to be done, which, I was hoping to leverage some of FrunkPuppy to do that very thing, like people spreading around pictures of a dog in an area where there should be an engine, hopefully
Right.
would spark a conversation of like, well, why are you doing that? But also, where's the engine?
Yeah, yeah. That's gotta be I bet so many people have no idea, and then they see this dog, and all of a
Yeah,
sudden they have questions.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
awesome.
I think that's cool.
Well, I know that I have the homework of getting Pinocchio in the frunk, hopefully
Great.
cooperating. I have a pumpkin costume for him somewhere, so I
Oh,
hope we
come on.
put something together.
Costumes always get lots of votes for sure.
So, but
Always.
I don't have time. The October is already submitted, or how does it
No,
work?
every single week. So I mean,
Oh,
really,
every
you can
week.
do
I
every
thought
week we do a vote.
monthly. Oh my
No,
god.
every single. No, I'm telling you, every like we get hundreds sometimes a month. So
So I got
yeah,
time.
you have time. You can pick. You do the best if you post it on Friday, and if
Okay.
you're gonna do, say, a pumpkin theme, I would try to do a Friday before before Halloween. But
Okay.
you
Good
know,
ideas. Okay,
because
you're
then the vote is the next week, the
okay.
next Friday for that week.
Okay.
So you want to be getting your vote around Halloween. But
Ah,
hey, who knows? I mean, if it's a good pick, it'll win any week. But
right, right. Well, awesome. Well, Earl, thank you so much. I really appreciate this, and it's been fun, and I really, didn't know much about you. I knew about, your Twitter, so it's nice to get to know the wizard of Frunk Puppy, really. The man behind
yeah,
this.
thank you. I'm so glad that you reached out, and you're so delightful to talk to. And I love your excitement around space and SpaceX and all that you do, and
Oh, thank you.
around Elon companies. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. And hopefully I'll get to see you at a Tesla event because
Yeah.
have you been to one lately or no?
Cybertruck was last. I got an invite to the Plaid event
Okay.
last minute, but you know, it's tough to get in from Ohio. Like explain to work that you're gonna just like not be there. So I
And
couldn't make that one, but
probably even harder from Alaska.
yeah, I don't know if I'll be there anytime soon, but if you end up traveling internationally, maybe consider stopping by Alaska. I don't think you'll be disappointed.
Yeah. I mean, I'm avid hiker, so if there's hiking there,
It's all about hiking here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Good to know. I'll definitely make it a stop on my list. Well, thank you guys so much.
Excellent.
I know that it's kind of late, but I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. And yeah, I'll see you next time. And I will submit a Frunk kitty.
All right. Can't wait.
Awesome. Thank you.